Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Ryan, I'm trying his build of Mono Black, which focuses way more on land destruction and being cheesy than the average build. This deck has Wasteland, Sinkhole, and Fulminator Mage in the main deck that can destroy lands once they're in play. We've got Opposition Agent that can stop fetch lands from coming up with a land in the first place. And he's up here with main deck Surgical Extraction, going for that cheese strat of destroy your dual land, exile your dual land, and try to cut you off a whole color for the game. This is something that's come up on the channel a few times, the idea of main deck Surgical, or why don't you bring in Surgical in certain matchups? And the thing about Surgical is that it does not help you survive the thing that is happening to you right now. It only affects things that have already made their way to their graveyard somehow. Like, compare Surgical to Thoughtseize. This could be 3 Thoughtseizes in the deck, and Thoughtseize lets me see what my opponent's up to, know what lands to attack, know how to sequence my spells, versus Surgical, which assumes that I've already either dealt with or survived something they did, and then I can take all the future copies out. And those are just 2 totally separate problems. And although I think this is a wild swing to play Surgical in this high number in the main, we are playing 4 Hymn to Turok and 2 Grief, and all of those land destruction things that I mentioned already, which together can put some important things in the graveyard. And I'm going to try the strat because this is what Ryan wanted to be doing, wanted to be squeezing opponents and denying resources. There's lots of ways you could build Mono Black. I've played several on the channel, some even pretty recently, and this is just a different direction to take it. The only changes I made to the deck that Ryan originally sent is I added 4 Exsanguinator Cavalry. This card is so good at doing everything that a Mono Black deck wants to do. It's an evasive threat. You could cast it off of a Dark Ritual. It gives you card selection in a color that doesn't really have that. And it's extra cool because Murderous Rider is also a knight randomly. So we have another lifelink knight in the deck that can go off with Exsanguinator Cavalry. The original build had 2 Sorin the Mirthless as its card advantage and lifelink, but I think Exsanguinator Cavalry is just better and more castable for our deck than Sorin is. And then I shaved 1 of the 2 Fulminator Mages and 1 of the 4 Surgicals to make room for 4 of this. I think this is one of the best cards we're playing, and I wanted to make room for all of them. And I cleaned up the sideboard quite a bit. I just think that this sideboard will line up better against the Legacy format than what we're already doing. Ryan's list had a bunch of Leyline of the Voids, which turns off our Surgical Extraction main deck plan, which is really awkward. Very Macabre supplements the Surgicals, but doesn't turn them off, and we don't have to mulligan for it quite as aggressively as we would for a Leyline. This build does not play Chrome Mox, does not play Ancient Tomb, so we're not really ramping. This is a pretty fair version other than the Dark Ritual. I think the build could do with, like, probably 2 Ancient Tombs. Maybe 2 Ancient Tombs and turn one of the Takenumas into an Urborg. But I'm going to leave it as is in that regard for now, and just see how this fair land drops and spells curve out mesa with your game plan works. Let's jump into it. This is Ryan's Mono Black Surgical Land Destruction. I'm on the draw in round 1. The deck does play 20 lands. I'm pretty happy if I find a second black source. I am going to try this. It is risky though. I should note that there are only 20 lands in the deck, plus the Dark Rituals, and not really any way to find additional lands. A Chrome Mox strategy. I am not ready to get Chalice of the Voided or Trinisphered here. At a Rabble Master I might be able to beat. Finding the next land would be great. Oh, that might be even better. Now I can Hymn to Turok them and play Exsanguinator Cavalry. Or play Cavalry and Sinkhole. That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, I have 5 mana here. It's definitely Cavalry, and then do I try to stop them from following up by attacking their hand at random, or their soul land, put them down to 1 mana available? I think I'd rather mess with their hand. I'm going to Hymn to Turok first. Got rid of Sokin's on a Mountain, so they did have more mana. Sanguinator Cavalry does have lifelink, and these tokens have to attack. Let's hope these last two cards in hand don't kill me. So I was kind of hoping to see, like, spells hit the graveyard here. Den of the Bugbear, which kills the City of Traders. If their last card in hand after the surgical, or after the hymn, it's a 4-mana spell. I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. They're just attacking. I'm going to take some amount of damage here, but I do get the lifelink. Now I have to decide if making a blood token... I think I need a blood token. And then sacrifice this. Discard Oppo Agent. Oh, I found Wasteland. That's actually really good. I'm not going to waste their Den of the Bugbear, though, because I need this for Orcish Bowmaster and Exsanguinator Cavalry in the future. I found Ancient Tomb and another Rabblemaster. Yikes. Okay. I'll just put a ton of lifelink in front of this and hope it works. Oof. This is a slugfest. No doubt about it. Okay. Second Exsanguinator. First Bowmaster. A Bowmaster can answer one of the Rabblmasters, which I will need to clear if I'm going to win this game. I'm going to take a turn off to kill a Rabblemaster. Well, alright. I mean, that doesn't really matter. Bags of the Moon's in. The Rabblmasters have to attack, and my plan here is to ping one of them with Bowmaster. My blocks are finish off this one, chump this one, eat this, and gain 3 life. Okay, I'm at 9. Gonna play another lifelink creature this turn. This Magus of the Moon is actually absorbing damage in a super relevant way. If I attack with this, I gain 3 life up to 12 and put 2 counters on it. Then they attack me back for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the Rabblemaster's worth of 7. I'd have to chump Rabblemaster, but I would get an attack through. And I'd have a 5-power lifelinker after that. Okay. Let's go. I get 2 bloods. Now they have to decide if Rabblemaster is worth attacking with. Okay. I'm going to trade with Rabblemaster, and now I have a 5-power lifelink creature versus their board of tiny idiots. Oh, can I empty all their mana out here? Yeah, I can Dark Ritual, Sheoldred's Edict, Sinkhole, Wasteland. Cool. Dark Ritual, Sheoldred's Edict. Sacrifice a non-token creature. Sinkhole, Ancient Tomb, Wasteland, Den of the Bugbear. And now I'm gaining more life than they're attacking with. Let's go. And they're dead to my 6-power creature. They're going to have to leave back Chumpers. This has been a fun game. Oh, yeah. You think you're the Stomp, but I'm the Stomp. Plague Engineer, Powder Keg. I'm not convinced Sudden Edict is actually good. I think Fulminator's kind of slow and bad. I think Grief's kind of slow and bad. The lifelink creatures are great. Oh, Oppo Agent does actually nothing in the matchup. That gives me Grief and Fulminator back. I actually think Grief is better than Fulminator. If I do need to take pressure off, it might be worth 2 cards to do it in this matchup. And I have all these Surgical Extractions that I'm happy to pitch, because they're unlikely to be super useful. Okay, turn 1 Rider or turn 2 Sheoldred. I'm keeping. Opponent also kept 7. Hate that for me. War Boss. Can I draw a second Dark Ritual again? That would be sick. Oh, Fatal Push. That might be good someday. I could Dark Ritual kill War Boss with Swift End, and then Hymn to Tarok next turn and work my way up slow. I think that's actually better. Swift End the War Boss. They did Spirit Guide that out, double Spirit Guide it. If I can get some breathing room here. Wow, and they just passed with just a 1/1 in play, Hymn to Tarok. Instead of stopping their draw step, and I think I'm going to Surgical Extract the War Bosses. Extract Legion War Boss. Oh, we hit one. Get out of here. There's a Trinisphere in their hand. That was awesome. All right, Surgical functioning as Thoughtseize. And then I get to put a lifelink creature in play as under this 1/1. I have 3 mana for the Trinisphere. I'm not worried about that. This has been a really weird match, but it's worked out well. Den of the Bugbear. Cast Trinisphere next turn, which doesn't help them. Do I even want to hymn the Trinisphere out? I think I do, actually. I have a 1-mana spell in my hand. Might as well unlock it. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's pretty strong, but I have the push for the Goblin Shaman. They didn't attack, which means they were planning on double blocking, but I still just want to push damage and cast Sheoldred if I draw a mana source. Nice. Attack first. I mean, I feel stupidly massively ahead here. Fable is a powerful card, but I hope it's not powerful enough. You tend to die really fast to Sheoldred. They looted away a Chrome Mox worth the 2 life to try to get something going here. Oh, Sheoldred's gone. Okay. Sheoldred's Edict. Okay. Well, that will be defeating the Fable. The Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Ooh, interesting. They're going to activate Den of the Bugbear. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. I'm going to do this now while they don't have a choice and they have to sacrifice the Fable. I'm still winning the race because lifelink is cracked. Oh, wow, GG. A Plague Engineer on Goblin's going to wipe out their board and everything they've done so far in this game. Cool. They need something big here, like a Fiery Confluence to stabilize. And then they need to draw pretty well from there. All right, just some honest combat and removal spell magic. Lifelink coming in huge. The Exsanguinator Cavalries were incredible. And the Murderous Rider was no slouch either. Let's go, on to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw with a hand with a ton of disruption and enough mana to play. I'm going to keep. No threat here, unfortunately, but hope to find one. Another Ancient Tomb strat. Oh, Jesus, what is this card? Sir Ginger the Meal Ender. Ginger has Trample, Hexproof, and Haste as long as the opponent controls a Planeswalker. Well, that won't come up. Whenever another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1 counter on Ginger and scry 1, and then sack Ginger, you gain life equal to its power. Okay. Now, this is some weird build of 8 cast, I guess. And they saw Bloodstained Mire at random from my hand. I actually played Commander at Command Fest Vegas with Julian Carr, Pastry Time from League of Legends, and I believe this was his commander that he was playing. That's the only experience I've had with this card otherwise. Okay, I got some options here. I can Dark Ritual Sinkhole Fatal Push or Dark Ritual Hymn to Turok Fatal Push. I think I like the Sinkhole more. Dark Ritual. They might just force this if they can. This pause is concerning. I might switch to Hymn to Turok if this resolves, just based on this pause that they're thinking about forcing my Dark Ritual. Okay. They talked me into it with that pause. I might have just been debated, but I want 2 cards out of their hand. Yeah, Force Blue card, got him. Now I can extract Forces or extract Thought Casts, or I can wait and extract Ancient Tombs next turn. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take out this Thought Cast. I don't want you playing any more of those. Oh my goodness, the sniper rifle is on. 2 for 2 on hitting a card out of their hand. Screenshot the deck. Yeah, this is just Patches O'Houlihan Stompy, aka whatever passes for 8 cast these days. Just double checking this doesn't have any version of Ward. Nope, not if I don't have a Planeswalker. Bang. Take that out. Opponent's hand is 2 lands. They drew Patches, okay. I think I want to Sinkhole them off blue, though. If I can ambush Patches in combat with an Oppo agent, that's so busted. Alright, don't draw an artifact right now. Cool. Please attack, please attack, please attack, please attack, please attack, please attack. Coward, but also smart. I am not going to Oppo here, I'm just going to draw. I think I would rather have this Dark Ritual for other things in the future if I can get away with it. I'm going to play Takenuma and Sinkhole the Urza Saga. This card just solos me on its own. Not interested in playing against it. And I can still Dark Ritual Oppo if I need to. There's the city. Please attack, please attack, please attack. I'm not showing Bowmaster anymore. What could it be? Hell yeah. Got him. Dark Ritual Oppo. Block. Alright, they got 1 card in hand. I'm pushing damage. I'm actually going to sandbag the Swamp because I do play the cards that make blood tokens. It's not exactly sandbagging for Brainstorm, but it's close. I don't need 2 Swamps though. I'll play that one. I would like to add to the board or find an edict or something because they can pretty easily get out of what I'm presenting right now. Yeah, already stabilized. Edict, Sheoldred, Sinkhole, what's up? I'm going to take out Seat of the Synod. I think I'm happy with this trade before this thing gets out of hand. Like I said, they're not a fetch land deck. They're not a tutor deck. I'll just take the trade if I can get it. Leave them with nothing really going on. I'm scared of Urza Saga right now. That's the biggest draw they could have. But I have another Oppo. Still scared of Urza Saga. There it is. Okay, concerning. What's this 2 mana floating for? Please nothing. Okay. The second Oppo does snipe the trigger at the back end of Urza Saga. I have all my wastelands. Alright, yeah, okay. Well, there's that. I'm just going to attack now, and I think I actually wasting Ancient Tomb is like the million IQ play, because then Saga runs its course and I just get the tutor, but it's risky if they just play another Tomb and then I die. To the Saga that I was completely avoidable. Bobbling me, they see nothing, because I have nothing. Heck yeah. Alright, Wasteland in my hand. Attack. And I am going after the Ancient Tomb here, even though it's risky for them to tap it. Like, tapping it even once might stabilize, which is too much for me. The land destruction is relentless in this build, no doubt about it. That was cool. Okay, Powder Kegs, Null Rods come in. A little awkward that they step on each other, but either one I'm pretty happy to have. Opposition Agent, pretty bad. I mean, it was my threat that won me that game, but that any 3-2 would have done it pretty much. The ability was irrelevant. Plague Engineer has text in the matchup. Sudden Edict has text in the matchup. I don't know if I'm going to board out this many cards, just looking at it. I do like how insulated against Urza Saga this deck is, because it has 9 ways to kill it instead of the normal 4 in just normal Wasteland decks. Sheoldred is a hammer, Bowmaster's a hammer. I think I want to shave a Sinkhole on the draw and a Surgical. Or Fulminator's probably worse than Sinkhole, it just costs more mana to do mostly the same thing, or a slightly worse thing, actually. I guess I'll just bring in 1 Plague Engineer. And I could cut other cards here, but I want to stay true to Ryan's deck here and keep the Surgical package and land destruction intact. Oof, risky. On the draw with an ETB tapped land, they are a Chalice of the Void deck. I'm going to run it. No fear. Fear does not exist in this dojo. And I'm immediately getting Chalice of the Voided. Hell yeah, okay. Well, that Dark Ritual sucks. Going to need to draw some lands. Easy game. Okay. I have 2 mana now, which is great because that's the number that my hand really functions on. Thoughtcast. Bobble. Bobble sees him to Turok at random. Oh, Null Rod, get the fuck out. Alright, well, I'm going to Null Rod them, which hits both their lands. This is like Force of Will or die, basically. And they had Force Pitching Kappa. Okay. That was a good Force of Will to have. A Urza Saga, I was saving Sinkhole for that. Powder Keg destroys Seat of the Synod as well. All my sideboard cards are good. Oh, sick. I can grief them pitching the Dark Ritual that I can't cast anyway. Just see what's going on over there. Tell me more. Dismember Ancient Tomb is what you got. I think it's better to just Sinkhole them down to no action, and I can worry about building out my plan later. And Powder Keg sweeps their entire board except for Ancient Tomb, and they're now Hellbent. I'm just going to pass. Passing gives them the opportunity to counter Orcish Bowmaster if they draw it, but if they just draw Thoughtcast, I get to light them up. Bowmasters is in. We're pushing damage now. Land is good. Powder Keg is nuts. Alright, land is good. You heard me say it. I'm currently wondering what card they would have that they didn't cast, and it's got to be like a counterspell or a 1-drop out of their Urza Saga package that they just drew that they can't cast into their own Chalice, because I think you would, like, they've seen Him to Turok in my hand. They would play out basically anything. Might be a second Mox Opal. I think it's a blank, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, they found a Dismember. That might be a card that they decided to assess Orcish Bowmaster's, like, wait a turn and see how bad Bowmaster actually was. But I got more where that came from, don't worry. And we are way ahead here. Emery, I mean, she's pretty good. Depends on what she hits, because right now everything in the graveyard is just mana or card draw. Oh, Surgical? I can't cast that. Right. That's how that works. Attack with these two. The Orc Army attack should be suspicious, but can you afford to play around it is the question. I suppose you can. And I get a blood token that I can use to turn the surgical into something better. Him to Turok, I'll pass. Sanguinator Cavalry is just so good. I'm just impressed by this card every time I have it in play. I also learned recently that I randomly opened an Exsanguinator Cavalry in a treasure chest at some point along the way. Like I just had one in my collection, and it's also 17 tickets. I'm rich. Just sold that immediately. Thanks, Phil. Okay, time for the Hymn to Turok. They're down to 2 cards in their hand. What are they? So like another Dismember on the full hard cast. Okay. And the other card was Mox Opal. Yep. Mox Opal was one of the things that I read that they might have. Opponent's down to 4. If they cast any version of Thoughtcast, they die. I can start activating Castle Locthwain if I want to do that. I can Sinkhole my own land. Oh no, Fatal Push turned off by Chalice. Alright, don't play into that. Chill. Attack with Orc Army. And then I'm going to Hymn to Turok the card from your hand and then Sinkhole a Seat of the Synod. And now Ancient Tomb that they can't cast is one of the last mana sources available. And I have a lethal attack no matter what they block next turn. Ooh, Sir Ginger. This does tap to activate, so they can't gain 3 life right now. And they can sack Lotus Petal to pump it. Alright, that's actually risky and slows me down quite a bit. Just going to attack with Orc Army. Okay. I mean, that just was a trade that occurred. Maybe I'm supposed to Locthwain main phase to hit a land drop. I'm at 22. I'm not really worried about much here. I still just win on the spot if I draw a... Or I guess it's not winning on the spot anymore if I draw the Powder Keg. It's really good, though. Hey there, Lotus Pedaling. Yeah, this Patches might stabilize. I need to find a way to deal 2 damage. Sheoldred just does it on her own. Surgical, another uncastable. Plague Engineer. I missed my boat on naming Construct with that. I can kill this thing, though, while putting them to 1 and putting a creature into play. Yeah, this is great, actually. Attack with both of these. Second main, I'll play Plague Engineer, name Construct, and that'll lock out this one and any future copies. And once again, I'm showing a lethal attack, and I can Surgical in the end step just to clear a card out of my hand for Castle Locthwain. The Engineer locks this out of being replayed by Emery as well, and another removal and combat math win on the books. Let's go, still undefeated.
If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event.
On the play with Land Ritual. Am I willing to go all in on Exsanguinator Cavalry here? Hell yeah, brother. I registered this deck, didn't I? Let's party. I just gotta hope they're Reanimator. Opponent says hi, YouTube. Everyone say hi, Rafina. 7 cards in their hand. Dark Ritual, Exsanguinator Cavalry. Fingers crossed. Please just resolve and make some blood tokens to help me hit my land drops for the rest of the game. That's all I want. If we're playing against another Ancient Tomb strat, I might already be miles ahead. Yeah. Another Patches O'Houlihan. It's a 2-2. Man, Ancient Tomb's everywhere. And our deck probably should be an Ancient Tomb deck, honestly. It's a lot to say about Ancient Tomb. Nice. Rip the land immediately. They saw Sheoldred's Edict off of the bauble. I think I want him to Turok them and try to soften things up and make sure this Sheoldred's Edict can connect. Him to Turok. Shadowspear Pithing Needle in the bin. I am not quite ready to set a stop in their draw step yet to exile Urza's Baubles. I don't think I care about that. If I can get Sagas or Patchwork Automatons out of the deck, that's more my speed. Wasteland would be a great draw. Takanuma. Okay. I'll doing some Takanuma-ing here on this turn. I'm going to play Takanuma, and I'm going to Edict. Each opponent sacks a non-token creature. Let's go after that. And I will Surgical in their draw step this turn. I am paying mana for this. I don't need to lose the life. Not doing anything else. All right, their hand is 2 Emrys, City of Traders, 2 Seat of the Synods. And their deck is pretty normal. Looks like the same deck we just played against for the most part. Even the one of Sir Ginger. All right. Is Acast back? Did they do it? Did they talk the world into trying this? And if they make the construct in the main phase, they can play Emery right now. Yeah, okay. I hate when my opponent sequences correctly. It's like cheating. Now I wish I had my surgical. I would take the land for Sheoldred, though, and be pretty happy about it. Oh, Oppo. Interesting. Well, I will attack with my cavalry, who is big enough and mean enough to tangle here. And then I'll cast Opposition Agent, where they can't counter it. And I will steal whatever's going to come out of this Urza Saga. I might just take a Mox Opal, because I have all these blood tokens, and I would like to cast Sheoldred. Yep. Still making constructs. Mox Opal's pretty good. Yeah, I'll take that. Done deal. Unfortunately, they can cast and equip Shadow Spear this turn, but my lifelink creatures is way bigger than theirs. Yep, they're going for Shadow Spear. They've got a 5/5 lifelink that I suspect is going to stay back on defense. Now it's 6/6 lifelink, but they're not winning the race if we're both just mashing into each other with lifelinkers. And I think that it's better for them to just try to halt my aggression by leaving back their constructs here. Which is, of course, risky, because if I draw any removal spell, my creature's unblockable. And they are at 5, which is the size of my creature. They might attack just to build a little buffer so they're not dead to a single attack. But I just get basically all that life and damage back, plus a blood token if they do attack. It's not a good spot for them. But if they can stabilize for a minute, it becomes a good spot because they can Kappa next turn. And then that's a super real creature. Okay, it decided to hold it back. Come on, deck. Any removal spell. Dark Ritual. Okay, that's interesting. If I play Sheoldred here, I can spew off a bunch of blood tokens next turn, gain a bunch of life. I could start trying to spew blood tokens now and find a removal spell. I get 2 looks before it gets bad. I've got 3 edicts, 3 fatal pushes. I have 1 look at 2 Murderous Riders, and then I have 2 looks at Sheoldred's Edict, and then I have 3 looks at Fatal Push. Or I can just cast Sheoldred and do this next turn. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They still can't attack, and they will be at 3 life. I'm going to play Sheoldred. I think the stability grind here is reasonable to pursue. Also punishes this bauble that's sitting in play. Blood tokens aren't cards, so they can't Pithing Needle them out of the graveyard. That's not how that works. They are targeting Kappa with Emery. Yeah, I'm bummed out about the way I used that surgical. They immediately had a graveyard payoff. Ooh, going to 1. Aggressive. Going to 1 rather than tapping the construct. That means they have to be planning to attack here, or else they just die. And I don't even have to do anything. It means the 7/7 lifelink's going to come in. They go to 8. It's an 8/8 lifelink now. They go to 9. Sheoldred has Death Touch. Not going to trade with this thing, though. I got plenty of life to work with. And Sheoldred's going to give me a bunch on my turn. They're going for the Emery Recycle. It's an extra blocker to pad against Menace and digs deeper. Got a Chalice and a Petal in the mix now. I gain 2 from Sheoldred. I'm going to tap the Mox Opal first, because that will be off eventually. Discard the land. Draw Hymn to Turok. That doesn't help anymore. Discard Hymn to Turok. Orcish Bowmasters, that card's not bad. It's not super good either. I think I'm going to chill with Orcish Bowmaster for a minute, though. I don't know how many more minutes I have. I'm falling behind here. This Emery, using that surgical aggressively like I did, huge punish. I found a Saga, yuck. All right. It's falling apart here. The dream is dying. And if they Chalice on 1 with the Emery, it cuts off a bunch of my outs while pumping their whole board. Yep, that is the target. Whoa, it's on 2. Okay, well, I better Bowmaster then. Going face. Face is the place. 9 lifelink is a lot. They did just go down to no defense for Menace if I draw a Fatal Push, but they did play against Edicts. Cavalry number 2, are you helpful? I don't think so. What happens if I just attack with everything right now? They block Sheoldred and Oppo Agent. They take 5, 6, 7. Then Sheoldred's gone, but so is whatever it traded with. I can get multiple blood tokens because the cavalry's there. If they double block cavalry, they take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not dead to that either. And I would gain 5. They have 9, 17. Yeah, I'm super dead on the backswing. That's not a plan. I'm going to play Cavalry, and Sheoldred does trade with either of these giant creatures, but she's also the thing that's applying pressure right now. I guess I pass. In blocking the 8/8 construct with Sheoldred is just as good as attacking into it, except they also lose 2 life in their upkeep. And maybe they don't push that hard and I don't have to block anyway. After running hot for 2 rounds, we petered out a little bit, but still my fault though with the surgical. They've got a Mox Opal. This is an insane amount of damage that they have. And they're attacking for 18. It can become 20. And I'm at 17, which means I have to absorb at least 3 of this damage. No, I have to absorb 4 of this damage. Bummer. I think I lose Sheoldred here. Yep, stings, but that is the block that I have. All right, they didn't make a construct before damage. That's 2 extra life I have to work with. Equip the Shadow Spear. I mean, this would be a big turn to find that Fatal Push I've been looking for. I'm still pretty much just dead to Kappa. Or not even pretty much. I am just, in fact, dead to Kappa. As they make a construct on their turn, it's unblockable. Oh no, I have 1,000,000 lifelink. Fatal Push is really good here. I'm back on a pro Fatal Push agenda. Bathing Needle. Name Wasteland in the blind. They haven't seen one yet, but it would make sense that I have it. Helm of Obedience. Okay, that's fair. Not a card that I play, but it's all good. Yeah, so if they activated Emery pre-combat and Saga in combat, I would have had to block a lot harder. I'm going to discard Orcish Bowmaster to my last blood token. Sinkhole is interesting. Oh, no, it's not, because I can't cast it. All right, I'm out of bloods. If I attack with all my Exsanguinators, all right, they got me. I used my surgical when they weren't showing me any use for it, and then they immediately had 2 uses for it in their hand. Just bad news bears. That does not necessarily mean that I think surgical is good, though. But without Shadow Spear, we win that game. All right, we've seen the sideboard plan before. I'm going to go with the same thing. Powder Kegs, Null Rods, all feeling good. Okay, slow and steady, but I'm going to keep it full of powerful cards. I'm just going to Swamp Go, and then if I draw some black card that I don't care that much about on turn 2, I can grief them, make sure Null Rod is clear for takeoff, or I could Sinkhole them if they're taking it slow. See how it shakes out. Ancient Tomb. Patches. Bobble. Bobble. They're going to bobble me. They just saw the Null Rod. At random. Drew 2 cards. Okay, Ward 2 does kick in next turn. Maybe I grief them pitching Sinkhole, which does open up Urza's Saga, which I'm not happy about. But if I can guarantee Null Rod resolves and then Fatal Push the patches, we're actually pretty stable. Or I could just hope they don't have a Force. And if I do that, I would play Null Rod this turn, Fatal Push on the following, and then I could hardcast Grief and keep Sinkhole for the inevitable. All right, I'm going to try to curve out here. All right, good bet. We won the bet. Wow, really glad I didn't grief them. They can still play these cards. They just can't activate them. Ward 2. I think I want to Sinkhole the Saga and also extract the Sagas. And then I'll deal with patches next turn. I'm going to extract in their draw step, and I'm going to pay them mana for it. This card is worth sniping. Wow, 2 of them in the hand. I mean, they also have Emery, of course, so the surgical may have just been bricked off. They brought in 2 surgicals of their own. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. That was the Hymn to Turok that I was looking for. Emery comes in, so she can cast stuff every turn, including that Shadow Spear, which can't activate. But yeah, this Patchwork Automaton will just come back over and over if I don't get Emery out of the way. But I will also die to the Patchwork if I don't get that out of the way. Yeah, I guess I just push this thing. It's so tricky, though. Because I have a window right now to fetch, push Emery, and then this loop is off. But if I make this a 1/1, maybe I don't care about it as much. But it can be something new every turn. Okay, I think I'm going to bet against the 1/1 rather than bet against Emery. Oh, wow, they scooped to that. Cool. Lucky. All right. There's a lot more game to play there, but nice. I guess I could have let them activate Emery pre-combat and that for a turn to get an extra point on that. And I think Plague Engineer is even better than I was giving it credit for because it can aim Construct and lock out that whole card. I'm going to shave a Grief. I just don't even really want to pitch cards unless they chalice me. Okay, this hand's really good. I will be keeping this and hope it lines up well. I'm pretty worried about chalice on 1. I guess I'm only temporarily worried about chalice on 1. Surgical. And I'm not going to cast that card right now. I am going to Dark Ritual out Cavalry, though. I have a curve that starts at 3 and then goes 2, 3 after that. Force Pitching Thoughtcast, deal. Yeah, that got 2 cards out of their hand, and I didn't even lose the payoff, and I'm still just curving out how I want, basically. Okay, so they're on some sort of control hand here. I could just wasteland them, then extract Ancient Tombs, see what their hand looks like. I could wasteland Force of Negation, see what their hand looks like, and then decide what card I want to cast. I'd hate to use Wasteland and then get got by an Urza Saga. Okay, I'm going to Surgical Force of Negation. I want to look at their hand, and if they are on a control draw, okay, they got a bunch of removal over there. No additional lands. Exile target artifact or creature. That kills Null Rod. And they do have the mana for Raven Form. Dismember kills Bowmaster. This might just be a spot to Wasteland. Because now if they dump out their artifacts, or they don't even have Metalcraft, so they can't even dump out their artifacts to foretell the Raven Form. And if I turn off all their non-artifact mana, they can't even cast Raven Form or foretell it. Yeah, this would be like a dangerous heads-up maneuver to spend your Lotus Petal to foretell Raven Form just in case. And if they just drew a Force of Will, then, oh, okay, well, this might be even better. Hymn to Turok, your card full of hands. Handful of cards, card full of hands. All right, Dismember is their only card in their hand. They're the only hand in their card. You know, all I ever want when I'm playing Stompy is to settle into a control game. And having an opponent who voluntarily settles into a control game in a Stompy mirror with me, love it. I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me. All right, my hand's pretty good. I bet the Bowmasters will bait the Dismember. Okay, they're tapping out. They got the GGs. Okay, cool. They've seen enough. Yeah, I was going to try to draw out the Dismember with the Bowmasters and then get Cavalry going, and we have their next thing answered anyway. We remain undefeated in Stompy Mirrors. Let's go.
The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop.
I'm on the play in round 4. This opponent has Sir Ginger as their avatar. I don't know if that means anything about their deck, but this is a lot of Sir Ginger in a Legacy League. I'm going to mulligan this no-lander. I'm going to keep this 3-lander. I am going to pitch Grief here. It's either Grief or Surgical, actually. I'll pitch the Grief and lean into what the deck's trying to do. And if I'm randomly queued against Reanimator, we've got something to do. Blue to Delta. I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. Hope I don't get stifled. Swamp. Him to Turok. What you got going on over there? Tell me about it. Or show me a daze. Either way. Days it is. Days of our lives. The days of our days. Okay, they fetched a basic island, which is funny because my hand has Sinkhole in it. I don't know if you've read Sinkhole, but it lets you kill any land at all, including that one. The messed up thing about Daze is it always counters Sinkhole because it picks up the target. Like, even if I pay the 1, the land's gone. I could have extracted Dazes before casting this. I hope that's not a punish. I just have belief in the world that I might do better. Heck yeah, basic island, straight in the graveyard. This is a spot where I could extract polluted deltas in the upkeep. You can't extract basic islands. I'm going to go after polluted delta and hope I spike here. That would be so sick if we get one. Okay, we didn't get one. There's 2 Underground Seas in there. That actually would have been a great hit. And we are playing against, looks like Blue-Black Scam. They've got another Daze, Force, Murktide, Reanimate, Fatal Push. All right, that's a lot of action over there. They have a bunch of ways to kill or counter my Orcish Bowmaster, and then they can get it back and put it in their own hand. It's not really how I want to play this. Oh, I can cast my own Grief, but then they can counter. They can daze grief. Okay, I think I want a Bowmaster in the upkeep where they can't drown in the locket yet. They can't daze or drown this. They can fatal push and reanimate it all at once, but I'm not currently worried about drawing extra cards. I mean, Castle Locthwain is right there. Maybe I am worried about that. It's not fair playing against a deck with normal interaction. I've gotten accustomed to just spewing off against other Stompy decks. Okay, if I draw a mana source here, and I can cast a Grief ahead of Daze, that's pretty good. They might just force it, pitching Daze, and then play Murktide, and I lose to that. This is all bad. They might also just let this resolve and beat it. Yeah, force pitching Daze. Okay, I'm going to lose to Murktide region here for sure. Might as well fetch. This isn't doing anything else in the deck. Troll of Khazad-dûm cycle. That still ends up in a Murktide this turn. Yeah, just kind of lost the coin flip on them having 2 Underground Seas instead of 2 Polluted Deltas in their hand. Surgical, once again, would have been fine as Surgical this game. Alright, we're dead. Okie dokie. I like Macabre's Edict. Do I want Thoughtseize in here? Maybe. None of these other cards are important. Cavalry's good. Fulminator's a little clunky. Sinkhole's really bad against Daze decks, is a problem with Sinkhole. I like the removal. I like the Oppo. Even Surgical's fine, just as a Surgical here, not doing anything cute with it. Maybe I just don't need 3 Fairy Macabres on top of 3 main deck Surgicals already. I was about to cut an Opposition Agent, but I just think that's too much graveyard hate. Let's go! Maybe I'm actually supposed to have Plague Engineer in for Orcs. I'm going to keep my hand. This is slow and steady, but really, like we've identified, the only fast thing in the deck is Dark Ritual. Yeah, I think I am supposed to have Plague Engineer in the deck. Yeah, I don't know if they play Stifle these days, but I'm not going to let them. Ponder, that happens. They didn't shuffle. I drew Sheoldred, that's fun. Alright, I'm going to start putting their stuff to the test. If they have Daze, they have Daze, but like my hand just curves out. That's all it does, so Daze is going to get me at some point. I'm not going to wait till turn 4 to play a 3-drop in Legacy and turn 5 to play a 4-drop. It's not how this works. Okay, they passed. They might have their own Bowmasters here, which is fine if true, I guess. Cavalry. Call the Cavalry. Going in. Cavalry resolves. They do have their own Bowmaster. I am neither surprised nor offended by that. Reanimate my Bowmaster. Also not surprised or offended by that. This makes blood tokens worse, but my hand currently functions without making bloods, so that's fine. That was a really good non-attack. Kind of bums me out that it was so good. I'm going to Swift End the Orc army. They might try to drown in the lock this. Because if I cast a 3-drop off this, they can't drown that. Okay, we're in there with that. Swift End the Orc army. This doesn't feel good to kill this like free material that came into play, but this lets Cavalry get in. Ooh. Switch to Murktide Regent to that. Backup Cavalry. It would cost them a Bowmaster if I attack here. I think I'd rather attack next turn and get something through. Wasteland's a beating. Trying to cast Sheoldred's here. Don't waste me. Oh, they didn't waste me. Well, that's lucky. Alright, I'll just slam Sheoldred while I still can. As much as I'd like to clear the way with Thoughtseize, this is a important spell to put on the stack. And they haven't dazed anything yet this game. She's in there. This would be a bad one for them to kill and reanimate. I'm just going to pass. Uh-oh, dismember. Oh, 3rd Bowmaster, sure. Played around it by not doing anything. Okay, the first Sheoldred trigger. Just need 7 more of those and the game is over. Attacking with your 3/3, no chance I'm ever blocking that. Sheoldred gains back most of that life anyway. Ooh, my own Bowmaster. Now things are getting fun. Thoughtseize you off of Castle Locthwain. I'm tapping my non-basics first to leave up the most options. The 4th Bowmaster. This is fun. Okay. Neat. A 5th Bowmaster? It is a 5th Bowmaster because I also... they have one of mine. And Surgical Extraction is the last card in their hand. Okay. This is definitely a screenshot. And I am just attacking with everything here. My Bowmaster stabilizes on the backswing and can kill one of their Bowmasters. None of their blocks are good. Not blocking is a nightmare as well because I get multiple triggers on each knight. Yeah, probably the best thing they can do is block a knight with everything. Okay. I think they should have blocked with like all of their Bowmasters if they're going to do that at all. Okay, cool. Yeah, like this is just kind of limited combat stuff. Like if you have 3-1-1, if you have 5-1-1s that are basically all the same and you want to gang block a X3, just put them all there. That plays around a single removal spell. Okay. Plague Engineer is definitely coming in if there's going to be 5 Bowmasters in play on my opponent's turn. Oppo Agent's a little worse. And it's still fine. They are a Fetchland deck and Troll of Khazad-dûm deck. And I'm never going to 2-for-1 myself for Grief. Yeah, maybe Grief's out. Let's go. I don't like this one-lander. I do like the Grief and the Fairy Macabre. I'm going to try it. This could go poorly. All I need to do is draw a land and then we're cooking, but here we are. Opponent's on 6. I did not draw a land. I'm not going to fetch because I want more lands in my deck to draw. The opposite of thinning. They're cycling a troll in the end step. I hope they go to reanimate that next turn. They are passing the turn. Come on, deck. Don't leave me hanging. Oh, no. Well, I'm going to... Oh, I can Grief them. Yeah, I might as well. Grief exiling. This Oppo Agent looks 1,000 miles away from useful. I think this is the worst card in my hand. I'm going to Grief exiling Oppo. Push, push, Grief, Murktide, Murktide. Holy smokes. Okay. Well, the good news is their hand's bad. I think I take Grief here. I can answer the first Murktide if I don't get griefed. Okay, I'm taking Grief. Now I need to find my next land before I lose. If I could start casting Hymn to Tarax, I'm actually feeling okay about this game. Come on, land. Thoughtseize. All right, well, I'll cast that. Thoughtseize you. Take one of the Murktides. Force a negation as well here. I'm trying to hold on to this Fairy Macabre as long as I can, but it does slow down Murktide as well. They've got black in their pool. Reanimating my Grief. Okay, I'm going to exile my Grief and your Troll. With Fairy Macabre, it's nice that it can split across graveyards. It's just any 2 cards. Held on to that for long enough, got paid for it. Now I'd like to draw the land, please, deck. Oh, okay, well, let's take that other Murktide Regent. All right, opponents on mono reactive spells. I'm on mono spells and need to draw a land. Oh no, another 3-drop. Okay, we're in full idiot mode for a while here. The good news is, when I find a swamp, I can start hurling Hymn to Tarax at them. They found a Brainstorm. Blue decks are broken. They did not shuffle. You're killing me, deck. Another Brainstorm. They have so many cards in their hand now. This Hymn to Tarax is starting to get a little goopy. Wasteland. All right, well, I better draw Swamp the first time. I hate you, deck. I hate you so much. I believe I discard a Hymn to Tarax here. That's the one that they can't reanimate and kill me with it. They can hardcast Force of Negation with their mana. Oh my god. Settle down, deck. Alright, I'm 44 cards into my deck. 1 in 3 cards in my deck is a land. I'm just saying. Alright, discard Sheoldred's Edict. I would love to discard Sheoldred, but I can't let them reanimate it, because then I would lose on the spot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I will at least put spells on the stack now, even if they don't resolve. Start with the Hymn to Tarax. Let's get that Force of Negation out. We know about that one. Yep, they're just going to hardcast that. You got me. Okay. Spells are at least going on the stack now. Screw beats Flood. Let's see what's going on here. Well, they're not flooding out either. They just have a handful of stuff. Yeah, we both have 7 spells in our hand. They have 3 mana. I have 2. Let the Bowmastering begin. Oh, we're just dropping in Brazen Bees. Okay. I can Sudden Edict that on their turn. And I know they can't interact with it because that's how Sudden Edict works. Suddenly, you don't even know where your creature went. It's just gone. You blink, no more creature. They cast a Ponder. I drew another land. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, Exsanguinator Cavalry. They can't Fatal Push this with what they have on board. I know they're holding 2 Fatal Pushes. Just going to make them at least find the fetch land and do something about this. And if they really want, they could waste their own wasteland. That is a legal play. Bowmaster's in. All right, now we're both tapping out. We're shoving creatures, doing stuff. The game is now beginning on here on turn 12. Yeah, they're going to hardcast a Grief here, it looks like, with the mana they have. Yeah, that's really good. They get to know exactly what I'm doing and dance around it. What they take will educate me about what their plan is, though. They spent a very long time before taking Orcish Bowmaster. Wow, that was a good draw. Now I can Wasteland them, play Fatal Push, or I could Murderous Rider. Yeah, I'm going to Swift End Grief, actually. That lets me attack with Exsanguinator through a Daze. They have to decide if this is worth a force. Force pitching Drown in the Lock. Powerful. Okay. Determined that is worth a force. I could Fatal Push Bowmaster, which if I'm going to do, I better do while it still works, or while it doesn't turn on their Fatal Push. But I guess I did just turn on their Fatal Push anyway. I could trade with Grief here, because they have Fatal Push online. All right, I think I'm just going to pass and make them waste my waste and Fatal Push if that's what they want to do. Because if they give them an easy trade, then they can line up their 2 Fatal Pushes against my Cavalry and my Sheoldred as the game gets longer. Surgically Cavalry, dang, using my own tech against me. Okay, your boy needs a land and needs opponent to not be able to get Revolt forever. All right, 1 card left in hand. It's Fatal Push, and then plus whatever this Ponder keeps. Did not shuffle. They got some big bangers. That Wasteland can take out Sheoldred at will. Wasteland can target itself. Fatal Push clear Sheoldred. Oh, that's even more annoying. I guess I could waste their waste. Make it harder for them to get Revolt and hope to draw another land before it's too late. Yeah, I'm just going to waste their Wasteland right now. Just knowing what's in the hand, I have to do something here. Even though it sucks. I guess I could have also just cast Sheoldred, get the Wasteland and Fatal Push out of the way, and then try to beat them with whatever my next card is. But knowing that their only card is Fatal Push, now if I draw a land, I'm actually cooking. Or at least, you know, doing something. All right, well, moment of truth. They can attack me to 1 with Grief. I can block the Orc army. I need them to brick, and they can't draw Wasteland or Fetch land either. What a thrill ride. This is the moment of truth. They got so many live draws here. I'm just going to hope they miss on one of them. Okay, they attack me to 1. Sheoldred will put me back up to 3. I still have to deal with this Grief. Need another creature or a removal spell. Hello. Plague Engineer. And I'm going to name Elemental. I don't want to clear the Orc army because then they can Fatal Push and just win. Okay, I've named Elemental. And I'm not going to attack because, again, Fatal Push. Just clinging to life barely here. While opponent's life is slimming. Reanimate Bowmaster. Is that lethal? Yes. Yeah, because Grief has Menace, and these are both 2 power. Wait, why didn't they ping my face? Why did they ping their own Arc army? It just gets bigger. They were trying to get Revolt, but don't know how the rules work. That's funny. Oh, baby. Okay, that was a mistake. If they just pinged my face, they had a lethal attack there. Okay. Well, I'm going to lose Sheoldred now because they have a lethal attack anyway. Well, it's not a lethal attack. It's just a force block compared to actual lethal that they had a second ago. This will draw out the Fatal Push, and then I have to answer Grief again. Easy, right? And I'm at 1. There's the push. All right, deck. Another Plague Engineer would actually be stable. Surgical is not it. All right, they got me. GG's. That was a well-fought battle where the deck with blue in it. Like, look at what happened here. We both have 1 card in our hand. We both have 4 lands in play. We both have 32 cards left in our deck. This is, like, insanely close on every resource, except they have Ponder, Brainstorm in their graveyard. We saw the same number of cards this game, but theirs were selected to be better than mine. Very cool. Like, that's insane how that all lined up so perfectly. On to the final round. The trophy's dead.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play in the final round. Once again, it's paired into New here. who is someone I paired against last week, and everyone said hi to. Everyone say hi to New here. This hand is unfortunately not enough. I have 5 mana on turn 1. If I had 6 to Hymn to Turok plus Sheoldred, obviously we're just off to the races, but I guess I do have 2 Dark Rituals, don't I? Like, if I Dark Ritual Hymn to Turok on turn 1, or just like Swamp Pass and then Sinkhole plus him on turn 2, I think this hand is bad, is the problem. Alright, I gotta mulligan this. I could just turn 1 Sheoldred, send it, hope it works. I wish I remember what they were playing when I played against them last week. I gotta mulligan this, sucks. I like this one a lot more. I'm gonna keep it and bottom... I think I'm gonna bottom Sheoldred's Edict. And I'll just try to hit my land drops and work my way up here. It sucks to mull a double Dark Ritual hand, like any 3-drop instead of Sheoldred. Like if I could him plus Exsanguinator Cavalry all day, every day. Not draw confirmed, but not like that. Hey, were they playing Beans when I played against them last week? Maybe. I don't know. Let's figure it out. My thoughts. Well, I still have Wasteland here, even if my thoughts get seized. They took Sheoldred. I think I want to just Wasteland here. That's the best follow-up, because I'm worried about sinkholing into a Daze. That's always going to suck every time it happens. A basic island. Ooh, Hymn to Turok. I could pitch Fatal Push to Grief. This is the old him versus Thoughtseize first argument. I'm going to him first. This softens up their hand, and then I have better selections off Thoughtseize. Spell Pierced, straight to hell. And the counter argument to him versus Thoughtseize is you Thoughtseize to make sure the him resolves. It is, if you know it's all going to resolve, it's better to him first. But, yep. Okay, a Daze Spell Pierce. They know my last card in hand is Sinkhole. I'm in some trouble here. They still have 5 cards in hand over there. Okay, Wasteland, Sinkhole. Send it, I guess. Brainstorm in response. The Sinkhole resolved. That's fun. See how many basics you got, because my other Wasteland's right here. Wasteland. They'll probably waste my waste. I'm going to waste my waste too. Moral victory. You don't get to kill my lands. Oh, baby. Send it. Let's see 2 lands hit the graveyard. Brainstorm Murktide. Okay, moment of truth. Are they Brainstorm locked? Or are they just going to hit land drops and keep playing? Okay. They don't have lands to play. Oh, big calves. I just need a land. They found it. It was under the Brainstorm. That was the first random card they've drawn. They're right back in now. And I'm still waiting on number 3. They're passing without a play again. Surgical's fun. I think I'm going to save that till they crack their fetch land and try to take out their Underground Sea and see if I can actually remove all the mana from their deck. Have to be really careful about how I pass priority here. Don't want to click through a fetch, because that's easy to do. That's the old draw go non-magic. They'll have to start discarding next turn. We're in there. Exsanguinator Cavalry. Ride, my horse. And I am going after the Underground Seas if they fetch. Okay, they fetched Surgical Underground Sea in response. Let's see if this is just a blue-black deck. Are they going to have to play this game on Basic Swamp from here? Do we finally get to do what the deck's about here in round 5? Okay, it is Bug Beans. There is Tropical Islands and Bayous in here. Force of Will, Stifle, Sheoldred's Edict, Lorien Revealed. Alright, well, they got plenty of game to play here, unfortunately. But now we know what's going on. Pretty good 7-card hand over there. And they have the Sheoldred's Edict ready, because they could cycle Bayou, or they could cycle Lorien Revealed, or Tropical Island. We tried to do the thing. Turns out the thing just isn't structurally sound. Yep, just firing the Edict main phase. Why mess around? I hate that they have that Force of Will over there. I guess I'll make them use it. If they cast Beanstalk this turn, I'll respond with Bowmasters, and then they'll have to force before it draws them a card. They could also just let this happen and then kill it with their own Bowmaster and accept a little bit of damage in between. That is not the path they took, though. The Force and the Stifle are clear. Come on, land for Sheoldred. We could still win it right now. That's not land for Sheoldred. That's Sheoldred. That's not quite the same thing. Murderous Rider. Just start attacking with something here. If I do draw another Wasteland, they don't have black mana for the rest of the game because their seas are gone. And their only way to recur lands is a black spell. So although we are falling behind, we can cut off a third of their deck still pretty reasonably. Ooh, cavalry. Pre-combat, because this is a knight. Did not seem to draw a daze. Send it in. Surprise trigger. That's good deck building. The blood must flow. Bummer. Found a murderous cut. That's probably gonna mess me up, though. I know that they can't double spell into an Orcish Bowmaster here, because they're out of black sources. If they found a Murktide, I'm in some trouble. And that does appear to be what's happening. Oof. Alright, I need an Edict. And then I need to predict the Edict's going to resolve versus their 7-card hand. I guess all I can do here is pass. And if they fetch in the end step here, the Oppo might get a good eats. But they don't really have any reason to fetch. Another murderous cut, yuck. Okay, I guess I have to let all these abilities resolve. Murktide gets +3 on the Delve. They have 9 cards in their hand. 2 polluted deltas. Now they might not even have a fetchable if they fetch, because they fetch the other one in response. There's only 2 lands left in their deck if they haven't drawn one. I think I was supposed to blood token in the end step. I've just kind of given up on life here. Yeah, too late for Sheoldred. We actually had a few turns that game where things could have happened, but instead they didn't. Okay, I like Sudden Edict, and that might be the only thing I like. Thoughtseize is a maybe. I think the land destruction is mostly good. It depends on what build of this they're on. If they're on the 2 days build, then Sinkhole is a lot better than if they're on the 4 days build. So they don't play that many win conditions. If I can extract a Murktide, it becomes hard for them to actually kill me. I think I'm going to cut a Sinkhole, or 2 Sinkholes and a Fulminator. I think my spells are just more important than the land destruction stuff, and I still have a lot of land destruction in the deck. Let's go. I'm doing it like this. I made the last second decision to turn the other 2 Sinkholes into the Plague Engineers, because if I can extract Murktide and Plague Engineer Orc, that does squeeze them in a lot of really important ways. Gonna mulligan this no-lander. Oh, the slow, steady hand versus what I now know is Salty Beans. I don't really want to go to 5 against them, but I also don't think this hand's going to win the game. I'm going to go to 5. Please, deck, don't betray me. Okay, I actually don't hate this. I'm going to keep bottom Dark Ritual and I think Takenuma. Because I can Thoughtseize, or Thoughtseize Bowmaster, and just try to have something going. Force of Will, Deed, Fatal Push, 2 Brainstorms. I'm going to take Force of Will. Just trying to clear the launch pad for my Orcish Bowmasters to do stuff. Underground Sea. Ooh, that's nasty. I'm going to Wasteland first, and they'll probably Thoughtseize, or Brainstorm in response, and then I Thoughtseize them after the Brainstorm. If that happened, Thoughtseize you. Hit the land right away. Well, now they have 2 removal spells. I think I just have to take this Murktide now. And Salty Beans is so resilient and sticky. Who built this deck? This is crazy. This is an outrage. I hope that they just main phase Brainstorm. Like, if they start missing land drops, they'll probably try to draw cards. But they can cast Dismember off Wasteland. Dismember is so good. Why would anyone not be playing that in their list? I've seen some new lists that have, air quotes, innovated off of Dismember. The card's so stupid. This kills everything you need dead in the entire format. Forever. I'm going to play Plague Engineer on Orc. Okay, I've named Orc. If this draws out the Dismember, and then I can get a Bowmaster in somehow, get a good hit with it, that would be nice. Brainstorm. Now I don't even know if Bowmaster's good. Land number 3, they could stick Deed here. Just sit that in play, and I can never beat it. Witherbloom Command, okay. They drained me for 2, picked up a land. I can answer their first creature. There's a Brainstorm. And Fatal Push is just right there. I don't think I can just shove into that. It just gets answered so cleanly. I need to be patient, find a discard spell to clear the way or something, or just overwhelm them with other threats. Like, they can't play a Bowmaster until they answer this thing. And I have the next Murktide answered. Another Brainstorm. And I can't just do this for every... Alright, fine. Fine, I'll cast my stupid spell. And it's still a 2-for-1. They have to kill the Bowmaster, and then I get a 1-1 left behind. Oh, Veil of Summer. That's so much worse than if they just killed it. Okay. I have a 1-1. That'll soon be a 4-4. I guess the Veil's not worse than killing it because I get such a big creature. Yeah, maybe they were supposed to just Fatal Push here and got too clever with the Veil. I know they have 2 removal spells and probably also Pernicious Deed in their hands, so maybe they're not worried at all. And I think I was also supposed to put this 1 damage on my face instead of on my Engineer, because now if they play a Bowmaster, they can kill my Engineer. Murktide. Okay. That one I have covered. Okay, I'm going to get a pretty good turn here, even though I don't really deserve it. I'm going to hold back this Takenuma in case I need to pick up this Bowmaster again. They can pay a full 4 life Dismember here to avoid taking 4 life in combat, or kill a smaller creature. And they're down to 8. There's the Deed, using life total as a resource. You can Deed for 2 here, but then you still can't play Fatal Push. Hymn to Turok, what's up? Okay, I'm going to attack first, try to get them to tap out, and then I Hymn to Turok, and at least get to keep my 2/2. With some possible future universe where I get to Takenuma back a Bowmaster. Okay, put you to 6. Hymn to Turok. Let's see that Dismember go away. Fatal Push Dismember. Alright, well, all my known information is gone now. I hope their end is 2 Bowmasters. Actually, 2 Bowmasters can stabilize. So don't have 2 Bowmasters. Have 1 Bowmaster and 2 lands. That's fine. Mystic Sanctuary. You're going to target a removal spell? Edict. Okay. That works. Up the Beanstalk, draws Edict right away. I mean, they seem to be kind of puttering over there. If I draw more threats, like if I draw and slam Sheoldred right now, that's the kind of thing I'm trying to do. Okay, I can Takenuma a Bowmaster up this turn. I need them to just not have a big follow-up right away. Okay, they just passed with no play. Takenuma in the end step. Get back Bowmasters. Oh, hello. Okay, I think my goal here is to try to get interaction out of their hand with the Bowmasters and then slam the Sheoldred in the wake of that. They've got 2 cards in their hand. End step Bowmaster is the play. Kind of expect a hardcast Force. That is what has occurred. All right, let's hope I bet right here. Sick. Drew a land to play around Daze. That's good. Moment of truth. Please don't kill this immediately. Oh, you have double Daze? Or you're just dazing to get Mystic Sanctuary back? Okay, they dazed back Mystic Sanctuary. And what the hell is this? Oh, Dismember! No, that card's so good. Alright. Fine. The beans are too powerful. There's no Lauren revealed in the graveyard, at least. Sanctuary's targeting Brainstorm. That's legal. Come on, deck. Big payoff, big hit. Another Wasteland. And I can take them off green, at least, with my Wasteland. And play the other one. I don't like my spot, but I'm also not, dead here. Delta, still 1 card in hand. Bayou, another green source. Ponder. Guess I have to let the Ponder resolve. There's no smart thing to Wasteland here. Did not shuffle. Up the Beanstalk. Annoying, but okay. They would have just floated green if I had Wastelanded them, so that's what I meant by there's nothing good to waste here. Beanstalk found another Ponder. The second they find a 5-mana spell to cast, I get buried. Did not shuffle again. Terrifying. And Powder Keg. Okay. Well, let's draw for turn. Hope it's Sheoldred. Grief. Okay, I mean, it does attack for their life total, even though it doesn't take any cards. Waste you off black. Okay, go. Please have a blank on top. Fingers crossed. Wow, okay. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Maybe I am playing too scared of Daze, and Mana Denial is actually really important. I believe that's possible. In Necromentia, this is more for combo decks, but I could see naming Murktide and just putting them straight into hard mode. Necromentia is the one that gives them 2/2 zombies. I might not be able to beat 2/2 zombie if I accidentally give them one. That's awkward. Okay, I'm going to shave a Surgical for a Sinkhole, and I know they have Veil of Summer in the deck, but okay. And I can shave one of the Fatal Pushes. They only have 1 target, or 4 targets for that in the deck, and I have a ton of removal. Okay, I don't want to cut any creatures. I want to be able to keep the pressure going. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to keep this and hope they don't have Veil of Summer on turn 1. Please just cast a Ponder. Cast a Ponder. Thoughtseize, oh no. Well, they know what I'm about. They take Bowmaster here for sure. My plan was to him to Turok them twice and then play a Bowmaster. Murderous Rider. Okay, I mean, that's a creature next turn. Let's see if they want to Daze a Dark Ritual. I would if I could here, if I were them. First him to Turok. And now I can play Murderous Rider, or I could hymn them again. I may not play another spell this game if I don't cast Murderous Rider right now. Like him, I draw a land, I could keep hymning. I just took a removal spell and a land. Ponder. Yeah, mega bummed out that that was a Murderous Rider and not a Bowmaster follow-up. Let's see, a shuffle and a pass with no land drop. That's what I need. Chose to shuffle. Do have a land drop. Dang it. Land. Another 3-drop. Okay. We're back in the Dark Ritual creature deck hellhole of exciting turn 1, then good luck, idiot. And they're pondering, brainstorming. This is what happened last round as well, where we saw a similar number of cards in the game, but my opponent had, or we had the same number of cards in the game, but my opponent saw way more, so theirs were better. Okay, no fetch, no play after that brainstorm. Oh, in-step fetch, they've decided. Probably playing around Oppo. Well, there's a Dark Ritual. I can put Plague Engineer on the stack. This is much worse than a land. Oh, they're forcing my Dark Ritual. That rules. I mean, that's like casting him to Turok and just getting it. Though if they're protecting a Murktide Regent, that's bad news for me. Like if they just Murktide here, I probably don't win anymore. Yep. I need to draw Land Edict over the next 2 turns. I don't need a fourth him to Turok deck. Wasteland. Now, some of the lands in my deck are bad. Up the Beanstalk. Now they have an engine. Come on, deck. We can get out of this. Holy smokes. Let's get that hand empty at least. They're tapped out of Veil of Summer at the moment. Cycling Lorien Revealed, so they'll discard a land instead of a Lorien Revealed. That's fine. Sheoldred's Edict and Underground Sea in the graveyard. Because of the lifelink on Murderous Rider, I have 2 more draws. Yep, okay, come on, Edict. Wasteland's not an Edict. Him to Turok you. Stifle, okay. I mean, glad I went for that, because I'm about to Wasteland them off black. How many Murderous Riders are in the deck? I think it's 1. Oh no, there are 2. Uh-oh. I mean, I do have a 3-mana Answer to Murktide Regent in my deck, and I should probably not waste them, even though it does turn on a bunch of spells. Okay, Moment of Truth, deck. Can I have an Edict? Edict. Fatal Push, you fucker. Alright, yep. Even if I get double Revolt, I can't get up to enough of that. Okay, I mean, this is weirdly close considering how bad it looked 2 turns ago. If this Fatal Push is just Sheoldred's Edict, I think we win. Okay, what's the last card in your hand? Show it to me. Veil of Summer, okay. Yep, we would have won, or at least been way ahead with an Edict. Okay. 3-2 record, we beat all the Stompy decks, and then we paired into blue cantrip decks, and their card selection started out-muscling our muscle, or out-finessing our muscle, which makes a lot of sense, because against the Stompy decks, you kill their thing, cut their resources out from under them, and then they have a hard time recovering. Or if you just jam something as big or bigger than they have a hard time recovering. Versus decks who you like Sinkhole their land and they just pick it up with Daze, and then they cast a Ponder, and then they have Dismember for your Sheoldred, and they just are playing around you the whole time. I think this deck could do with like 2 more lands, which is something I say basically every time I play a mono black deck or monocolor Stompy deck of any kind, like, or even like Pox. I'm always adding lands to Pox. And I think that adding the Ancient Tombs, like I said, would go, like you could add mana without adding lands if you have some Ancient Tombs in here. Like the fetch lands are turning on Fatal Push. We could just find a different removal spell and cut the fetches for 4 Ancient Tombs and an Urborg. The Takenuma could easily become something else. We could go down to like just the 3 fetches, 1 Castle Locthwain, cut Castle, 2 fetches, Takenuma for 3 Ancient Tombs and an Urborg. That might even smooth things out a little bit. Yeah, I just want a little more mana. I want a little more staying power. Once again, I wish Exsanguinator Cavalry was a card you could play 8 of. Maybe the Fulminator Mage and Grief should become Sorens again, like another source of card advantage. I got the Soren for Exsanguinator Cavalry because Cavalry is better than Soren, but Soren might be a more unique and relevant effect for the deck than something like Grief or the third Sheoldred, the third Oppo. Maybe we could just play 2 of those, or no Fulminators. Get a couple more Sorens in here. That is my feedback for that. Destroying lands was fun. The surgical thing, cute, but not really that effective. I would recommend doing something else, even if you just want to keep destroying lands. I mean, you could cut the 3 surgicals, keep every other card, and get your Sorens, get your extra land count, and like there's just 3 slots sitting right here that we could do something else with. And you can still be a super annoying land and isle deck with Sinkhole, Fulminator, Oppo. Not giving up too much there. Ryan, I hope this was useful feedback. Good luck in your upcoming events. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.